Hello again. One of the most frequently asked questions that I get is how to have better communication with your husband, your boyfriend, a male partner. And that topic is really broad and I could talk about it a long time, but I thought I would take a minute to give a hack for increasing deeper conversation with a man. If we haven't met before, my name's Alex Franks, and I've spent 29 years as a life coach or therapist, and I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of men, hundreds and hundreds of couples, and this communication and depth of communication is a constant issue. So I want to provide you some insights on communicating with men. The first thing I think we have to remember is men think in boxes. We open one at a time, we close one at a time, and it has to be linear. That's just how our brains work. Women's brains, I often refer to them as piles. There's piles and piles of information, and all the information related for a lifetime to those topics are in these piles. And women go through the piles and pull pieces out and move the pieces around, and it changes the pile. And often it's not linear. Often it looks like a giant puzzle with no solution, and eventually it gets somewhere. It's one of the main reasons that I believe affects the number of words that are said in a day. Women speak about 3 times more words in a day than men do on average. So when it comes to communicating, the first thing is to remember, if you're going to have a deeper conversation with your man in your life, you've got to take the time to remember to make it one topic, one issue at a time, one step at a time, clear definitions of what's a beginning and what's an end, which then clues you into the second one. Be an active listener. Don't listen to prove anything. If you want to have deeper communication with a man, you have to be willing to just hear him without judgment, without thought, without him expecting you to give a return response. When you're very open, very willing to just have the conversation flow with its natural pace and let him have his own voice, it's going to be a conversation that adds depth and is more intimate. And here's the hack. The third thing is, the second the conversation pauses, wait. I don't just mean a breath or two. If a man's talking about something, especially to a woman, the minute that he stops speaking, a woman's ready to respond with something. If you want a man to get deep, the second he pauses, count to 10 slowly in your head before you speak. Because men are box thinkers, we also tend to be box talkers. So it's one reason why men love talking to other men about sports, because we can say, did you see the game this weekend? And in the area of the country I live in, I know the exact team most guys are talking about. So I automatically can open that team's box. Then I can remember anything I saw about that game, whether I saw the game or not. I might have seen news clips about it. I might have watched a little piece of it. I might have seen something on YouTube about it. But I know the box I'm in. They talk about something, I can add my opinion, and when I add my opinion, I can say, man, that was about the best play I ever saw. The minute that I say that, I'm determining there's nothing else I want to talk about that because it was the best. Or I even can communicate with these guys I'm talking to and go, oh man, right? Did you see what that official did, right? The minute we say right, or that was messed up, right? We're telling another man we're done speaking. I've said everything I want to say about that. If you really pay attention to men speaking, they often will give the topic and they'll often announce the end. So if you're wanting to have deeper relationships in conversation with a man, let him finish that conversation. Let him be the one who makes that final statement that he's done. Often, if you give that 10 full second pause, a man will add something unless he's given you those words before. So often when I'm speaking to a woman and I'm done with a certain topic, I might have exhausted what I've got to say. I might even say, well, and that's about all I can think about that. Or, I don't think I've thought much more about that. Or I might even say, that's about all I know about that. That's all I've got to say about that. It clearly signifies the end. So, the hack, pause, wait. Because women speak so many words, they're used to needing more information to make decisions and figure out where they are. The piles of information. Men are linear, one thing at a time. So if a woman wants to fill that quiet space with more words, a man knows to just let her fill them. He just runs with that. So the hack will be pause. He'll often come back and give you more than you ever knew was there. And I hope somehow this helps you. Communication is the key to a healthy relationship. But if you want to grow true intimacy, closeness with your partner, you have to have depth, not just words. And most of the time, a man will give you a lot more depth if in the moment of a pause, you wait. Let him fill the space. Most guys will do it. You'll be surprised. If you found this content helpful, please like, comment, subscribe. It'd mean the world to me. Remember, we're here to serve others, care deeply, love our people. If you've got a question, why not ask?